Omnissian Axe by riserm on Maker World. And so what I want to do is take a look and show you what we're doing. This is the current progress. And this is the one that we just finished up printing. And so we got a collection of stuff like that. So we're going to go see, that is going to be the done plate. And then the next one is going to be this one here where it's got all the, that's going to be like the 8-hour print. So with that being said, let's go in here and we will take a look and get this off the machine and see what we got. Boom. So there it is. 4 hours, 120 grams. And there's the print that we end up having. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to remove this from the build plate. We already got supports falling off. But we can see that we've got some good print stuff going on here. So let's go ahead and we'll take this. And we'll come in back to the studio. And we'll set that up like that. And we'll get back to this. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take a look and see how this pops off here. And that came off pretty good with a top Z distance of 0.24. It is a little fugly on the bottom, so I might have to redo this. You can see that there. The top is good, so we'll see. I gotta find the bag, because I have a bag. Always have a bag. And the bag is going to have our parts. So this is our bag. This is just a quick update. I wanted to get this video done because I got dinner waiting for me. So we might have to redo these because, like I said, that ends up, it's kind of a fugly thing. So the orientation is going to be, I don't know. We'll leave that one out. But the supports came off great. And yeah, you gotta love that. Gotta love all of that stuff there. Let's get into some bigger pieces. And like this here. Oh, this has turned out good. I'll do a brim on here. So that way I have the added benefit of doing the getting that warm fuzzy. And look at that. That came out great. So this is Warhammer, in case you're wondering. Layers came out great. Awesome, awesome. As you can see there. So yeah. So nice. It'll go in the parts. We have the I love it when this stuff just peels right off. And that brim. This one's being a little finicky. So I have to do a little bit more cleanup, but there we go. Again, give a little bit of cleanup that we need to do. We can so I have to go through here. This one is a little squirrely to get off. Some of these are really good. Sometimes you got to finesse them a little bit, but for the most part, we've got another clean one there. And we got this piece here. You can see that. It turned out really good. Excuse me. And then as far as like that, boom, just pops right out. Really, really clean. There's another one there. And then the same thing. There we go. Boom. Not bad, not bad. So we're getting closer. Here's the other piece that we have there. You can see it just came out really nice. So, the other thing I'm going to try is maybe mouse ears. So that way it does like a little support on each corner. So I'll experiment with that in sometime in the near future. And there is the support. That's in like a rectilinear back and forth pattern, as you can see there. That's the interface layer. And we can see that's what we've got on the underside, which looks pretty good for the most part. But with that, I also want to try changing that layer to concentric and see, just kind of curious to see how that would pop out on the underside. But that's a nice, crisp, clean. And this is all Polymaker not hyper PLA, Polymaker matte PLA. So printed on the Creality K2 Plus. So yeah, another good one. Then the next plate is going to be about 8 hours. And then the last little bit here are these little clips. So what we need to do is hopefully, maybe, we're going to need the scraper on this one. No, I think I can get my finger in there. So these are the little clips that will be used to put the pieces together. So it's kind of a different way of doing it. So we're going to see how this works out. But we've got a number of these clips here. Stuff like that works out. And you can see that. Throw that into the bag. And I did end up doing some glue on here, just a Creality glue stick. But a couple of people have told me about the epoxy resin plates. And some people said that since they started using the epoxy resin plates, they haven't had to need any type of glue stick whatsoever. For the most part, I don't think I need glue stick, but it's just that extra insurance policy that, I don't know, gives me the warm fuzzy. So, yeah, I think that'll turn out good. So we're going to finish this up, and then we'll process the next plate. So hopefully that'll get all finished up, and that'll be about, what is the next plate? It's that next big plate. It's printed at 0.16 layer height. So we'll see how that pops in. I'm going to slice that plate up on the slicer here, and we will see. Man, it's tough to get off. This is going to take a while. So this one is, the last plate is going to be, I think it was like 8 hours. We'll see how that pops up. And we should be good. Ooh, this one's going to be rough. It is 12 hours and 23 minutes. Ooh, and it might have to be longer. So, and I'll show you why it might have to be longer. So let's do a little look-see. And these are all of the parts in here for this thing. So we still got a little ways to go. So So let's take a look and we will dun, 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 and take a look at what we see. So here, if we look up over here, what we end up seeing is that this is going to take 12 hours. It's about $8.28 worth of filament, 414 grams, and that's going to take a minute. But there's a reason for that, because in that view, you might be, well, that's not that bad. But when you rotate this up, that's where you start seeing you have so many layers on here, that is going to take a minute. So, and then, yeah, it's got a lot of filament in there. So we will definitely be doing that. But if we notice, let's go back to the preview. If we zoom in on this, we can see that we're going to have a lot of kind of ugly, layer lines on this. Excuse me. So I think what we're going to end up doing is we'll go back to prepare, and we will take this one and we will take this one. We'll highlight those. And then what we're going to end up doing is, let's see. Interesting. Oh, I guess we got to do it one by one. So we're going to go up to variable layer height. And this will show us over here kind of what we want to end up doing. And we want to minimize those layer lines on the top that we see there. So what we can do is, if we take our slider, and we can end up seeing how that yellow line and that kind of hits right where we're getting. So I think if we want to have the best, let's see if we can zoom in here a little bit. So really, when we get right about there, we can hold, and then we can just try to drive this all the way up 0.08, and then that'll remove a lot of that. That'll remove a lot of that. And I think we could do the same thing over here, kind of get about that same distance, and we will just kind of crank this up. And this is going to add a lot of time to the print for sure, because it is 0.08 layer height, but I think that will make a huge difference in that. And let's go ahead and we'll slice this plate and we'll see how this goes. So yeah, this is going to take a minute. So with that, yeah, I know a lot of people print on 0.2 millimeter layer height for their layers, but for kind of some more ornate things, the cool thing about doing it this way at 0.16 with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle is that you get a lot more details, you get more separation, or you don't get as much separation. And if we take a look at this, we can see a little bit better. Show you what we're talking about here. So there is the model. And you can see that now we've got a lot smoother, less pronounced layer lines, because it's at that 0 point, and you can see that line actually is kind of like right around here is where we start seeing that difference. And we can see that we're still going to get that layer line separation, but it's not going to be as pronounced as what we saw before. So this will add a little bit more time. And if we go up here to the top left, we see that this is going to be 14 hours and 49 minutes. So that variable layer height is going to add a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours, which it's going to run all night anyway. So it's not like I'm going to be missing anything. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing. I think that'll turn out really well. For these items here, we don't have to worry about that. And for the clips and things, that's not going to be a deal killer because it's just a handle. But this is going to be like the main focus area for this build on this axe. And so minimizing the amount of layers on there, visible layers, will minimize our post-processing time. So yeah, that is what we're going to end up doing. So we'll just go ahead and we'll let that go. And just wanted to finish this up and kind of give an update on what's going on with the current Omnissian Axe by riserm on Maker World. So if you want to check that out, he's got some cool stuff. Matter of fact, let's see if we can pop this up and if we can find him and show you what RIS, riserm, Maker World. Dun, 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 dun. And we'll try to make this kind of so we can put everything in here. And let's take a look. Again, doing this on my phone, so yeah, I know it's not as professional, but there's riserm on there, and it's got some 3D models. It's got 10 models so far, and what we can end up seeing. So we got like a custom coffin jewelry thing, xenomorph lamp, T-Rex phone holder, a sword, that steampunk. So he's got a few items on here, but this is the one that we're looking at. And this one is going to be a pretty cool looking axe. So when we take a look at that, I mean, that is going to be cool. See if we get a little bit more detail. So yeah, check that out. That is going to be cool. That's going to be a nice axe. That is going to look really good. And yeah, that's what kind of drew me to this, is that Warhammer stuff. And if we go down here, we can see people doing their little thing on here. Look at the details on this and the coloring on that. That is hot. So we're going to try to replicate and do something like that. Might even put some LED lights in there. You know, maybe some red with this in the eyes and the sockets and around that area there. So yeah, that'll be, I think that'll be a cool little project. So he's got some chains made there. Whoever's printing that out is going to do a good, they're doing something big there. So let's see if we got anybody else that made anything. No, that's pretty much it. So yeah, it is, I think it's going to turn out to be a pretty good little project. And we can see there, we've got the pieces and the parts. Most of these are 2 pieces here. And then of course we've got that. And then we have the system of poles. Now I need to go through and see that. So we got 1, 2, we got that one there, and then with these 2. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then these little pieces here. So if we go back here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and and there's the other one there. So 5, and then we've got the little pieces or whatever. So I think we got it. I don't know, maybe. We got that one, that one, those 2. I think we're close. Yeah, we got those 2. So I think we're good to go. A little 5-plate little system there, and we should be good. So there it is. That's the Omnissian Axe, the cosplay axe that we're going to be doing. And so we're going to be playing with that, putting that together and hanging that on the wall, kind of like we got the big sword over there. That was a, who made that? I can't remember. Oh, SARWTIN. SARWTIN, and he was also on Maker World, I think, for that big sword. He's really, really good stuff. So yeah, that's what we got going on. So that's the update. So if you got any questions or comments, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, I would appreciate that. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Alrighty, I think it worked out good. Think so? I think so.